try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane.
Alright, so in this video, what I'm doing is I'm going to call out all of us stubborn vet riders. Yes, I am one of them. I'm 37 years old, gonna be 38. And us vet riders, we're stuck in our ways. And this is going to be the four important things you can do as a vet rider to make yourself a better rider, a safer rider, and get faster as we age. Everybody thinks that, once we get old, we're just stuck and we can't get any faster. That is untrue. We can learn just as quick as a young kid can, but you have to do everything right. And I'm gonna explain the 4 things that you need to do in order to improve as a vet rider. And they all tie into one another. All right, so let's go. Number 1. All right, so number 1 is going to be flexibility and mobility. I know we all feel a little funny doing yoga. We think we need to train like Rocky and, go hard or go home and be running up the stair climber at max intensity, but it's really important to work on flexibility and mobility. And I think that actually trumps cardio work when we get older. We don't bounce like a little kid. We don't move like a little kid. And like if you go out to a local practice and you watch the pro intermediate practice, you can pick out the vet pros from the kids. But every once in a while, you'll get a vet pro that moves like a little kid, and that's because he has good mobility and flexibility and can move with the bike, flow with the bike, react to everything that it's doing. So I would say number 1 on the list, flexibility and mobility. And I am guilty of slacking off and not working on it. And every time I slack off, I tend to get an injury. So work on your flexibility and mobility as number 1. All right, so number 2 on the list is training appropriately off the bike for your age. Now, as a young kid, you can go and train 5 to 6 days a week and, be in that anaerobic zone and maybe see a little bit of an improvement. But as an aging adult, we do not need to be thrashing our body during the week, and we need to ride in the most beneficial heart rate zone possible. I believe everyone needs to train with a heart rate monitor, especially if you're a dirt bike racer, because you need to know that you're not going too far and you're going to punish yourself and make the weekend worse for yourself. So it's really important that we are recovered and we are fresh. I talk to quite a few people on the phone about training and what they do, and I am blown away by how much they train for their age. I have 50-year-old guys going into the gym 3 to 4 times a week to do cardio, 2 to 3 times a week to do weight training, and they're wondering why they're getting tired and they can only last 4 laps on the weekend. Well, I hate to tell you, that 50-year-old body cannot keep up with that training load. So train appropriately, train smart, don't overtrain. I believe being undertrained is far better than being overtrained. So if your body's starting to feel tired, you're feeling sluggish, you feel like you don't have it, hey, listen to your body and take the day off. If you need any more information on heart rate zones, training, how to weight train, how to set up a program, me and Ben Moberg from Pure Endurance Training, we have 2 videos that go over how to set up those programs and follow that type of training. Don't do anything in excess. We always want to do more, but train appropriately for your age and train effectively to where you are building endurance, gaining capillaries, transporting oxygen, transporting blood, and becoming a more fit athlete. Don't overdo it. It punishes you way worse when you're over 30 years old, and especially when you get up to the 50s. All right, so the next thing I'm going to talk to is focusing on technique. And working with people in the past and working with kids on minis, you see a difference. Kids on minis, you tell them something, and they don't want to argue with you. They're a kid, right? And I think the problem with us vet riders is we're stubborn and we're stuck in our ways. And our mind wants to argue, even though we're not verbally arguing. In our mind, we're thinking of why our incorrect way is right, and we're trying to justify it. As for a kid, they hear a pro or some local fast racer they look up to, tell them to do something, they're going to take that word as gold and they're going to do it. So I think with your technique, be honest with yourself. If you do get some coaching, listen to the coach. Don't try to justify why your incorrect way is correct. You need to be open-minded. And if you have somebody that you trust, that you know is a good rider, telling you that, hey, this is your problem, fix it. Do like a little kid does. There is no reason that we cannot learn and become better riders. And also with focusing on your technique, one common thing that I see at the track is us old guys, we start to look like a locked person on the bike. We just don't move. And a lot of that is just improper technique, but it also goes hand in hand with flexibility. So as your flexibility and your mobility improve, so does your technique. As your cardio improves, so does your technique. The fact that you're not thrashed and tired on the weekend improves, so does your technique. So like I said, these all go hand in hand together. But focus on your technique. Look at your media, go over your media. I have a video on how to analyze your media and slow your videos down to see what you're doing wrong. But I think the problem with us vet riders is we're just stuck in our ways, and someone will tell us how to do something correctly. And even though we listen to them, it kind of goes in one ear and out the other, and we just keep doing things the same way because we're like, well, I've done it this way for the last 10 years and I got fifth at the local pro or the local novice class. I'm not changing anything. So be honest with yourself. Focus on technique, get better on technique, and focus on the prior two things. You will become a better rider. All right, so the fourth most important thing that I am going to go over is rest and recovery. Like the guy that I was talking to about his program, and he had, 3 days of cardio and 4 days of weight training or whatever it was during the week. There is no way that guy with his age is going to be able to perform on a dirt bike at the end of the week. So listen to your body, rest, recover, eat appropriately, eat healthy, and try to, if your body's telling you you need a day off, take a day off. If you get on that spin bicycle and your legs just don't feel like they have it, you're probably not going to gain much from that day. You're probably going to gain maybe a little bit of mental toughness. But as far as your body being thrashed, you're just going to contribute to it being more thrashed every single day. And then by the time the race comes, before the gate drops, you're already hammered, you're already done, your day's over. Rest and recovery. Like I said, sometimes let's say you train 5 days during the week. Honestly, I think training 0 days is better than training 5 hard days during the week. You'll probably come in fresher with 0 days of training versus 5 extremely hard days. And so that's why you need to set up a training plan. You need to think appropriately and train smarter, not harder, and be rested and recovered. So you got to make those improvements by training, but rest and recovery is really important. So you got to figure it out, get a smart plan with your training,